Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is your home for organic Bible study here in the Bible Bistro. Here in the Bible Bistro, everything's organic. Everything is sustainable. Everything is locally sourced. Everything is responsibly handled. We even wash our hands. That's the kind of classy joint the Bible Bistro is. So if you want some good, fresh Bible study, especially if you're looking for something in the Psalms, well, I've got it for you. Today we're going to look at Psalm 106. Actually, we're going to begin a 2-week study in Psalm 106 because Daily Dose Radio studies the Psalms verse by verse. So we're going to hit Psalm 106, part 1 this week, part 2 next week. We'll finish off Psalm 106. So this week's going to take us down to verse 24. This is a longer psalm. It's 48 verses long. So we want to make sure that we get all of it in. And you'll remember last week, if you didn't hear last week, I encourage you to go back and listen to the podcast for last week. We studied Psalm 105, actually the last 2 weeks. We did that one in 2 parts as well. And you'll recall that I said at the beginning of that study that the operative word was remember. We were remembering all that the Lord had done for His people. And He took us from Abraham all the way up to Joseph and into the captivity of Egypt and then the release from Egypt and all the signs that God did, His carrying them through the wilderness and all of that. So we were remembering all that the Lord had done, the greatness of God, His sovereignty, His power. You know, all of that was on display, and our job was to remember. Okay, so now in Psalm 106, remembering is very important as well, but what we're going to remember is what happened. We're going to remember what the people did. And we need to remember that it's because they forgot. So they didn't do a good job of remembering. This is a warning to us not to forget. This is an edification for us to always remember. Because if we forget and we sin, there's going to be consequences for sin. So let me read for you today verses 1 through 5. Praise ye the Lord. O give thanks unto the Lord, for He is good, for His mercy endureth forever. Who can utter the mighty acts of the Lord? Who can show forth all His praise? Blessed are they that keep judgment, and he that doeth righteousness at all times. Remember me, O Lord, with the favor that Thou bearest unto Thy people. O visit me with Thy salvation, that I may see the good of Thy chosen, that I may rejoice in the gladness of Thy nation, that I may glory with Thine inheritance. Now I'm going to stop right there. That's really kind of in the middle of his request. He's asking the Lord to do a thing here, and you'll notice again the word remember there in verse 4. Verse 4 starts off with that word, remember me, O Lord. You'll notice that verses 1 through 3 is praise. Praise ye the Lord, give thanks to the Lord. And then we tell about why He's good. And of course, the goodness was displayed in Psalm 105. His mercy endures forever. His mercy was displayed in Psalm 105. Who can utter the mighty acts of the Lord? I think if the psalmist were to be here and tell us about this, if he were to answer this question, he would tell us there's nobody that can utter all the mighty acts of the Lord. No way. Who can show forth all His praise? Nobody. And Psalm 105 is just a demonstration of that. He took just a little bit from the record of the Word of God and just gave it to us in pieces, and we understand that it would be impossible to tell everything the Lord has done for His people. And even yet today, how could we ever do that? Blessed are they that keep judgment, and he that doeth righteousness at all times. How do you keep judgment and do righteousness? You follow the Lord's way. I'll come back tomorrow and pick up in 4. I want to make some more statements here about this little request that he makes here at the beginning. We have a prayer here right off the bat. So join me again tomorrow, Psalm 106 tomorrow on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.